in my hands a finance article on Yahoo, and the headline is, "Quiet hiring is the opposite of quiet quitting, and workers are furious about it." Can we stop with all the phrases? Can we stop with all the National Cookie Day, Hamburger Day, National Love Your Dog Day? We got to have a phrase for everything. This is not a new phenomenon. Okay, this is what the article says quiet hiring is. And I'm not going to say that phrase anymore, ever again, because it's so nonsensical. It's just poor leadership. This is how they describe it in the article. A company assesses its current workforce, the employees, specifically those who have gradually begun taking on responsibilities beyond their job description. Right? We've seen a lot of people leave over the last year and a half. It's extraordinary. Like 75 million people, what it amounts to about 4 million people a month for over a year and a half, quitting, taking another job, as is their right to do so. But it leaves people behind, and there's also this employment gap. So the stress on employers, and I have empathy for them, is they've lost somebody. It's hard to find somebody to replace them. The work still has to be done. What do? And I just want to fully acknowledge that this is not an easy situation for leaders. So leaders, I understand this is tough stuff. I mean, it's the image that I have is like from my cartoon watching days when I was a kid, Looney Tunes, like the plates are falling off of the kid, and Tom, it's like Tom and Jerry. Tom's chasing Jerry, and he actually runs into the whatever you call that thing, the cupboard, and the plates are, and he's like, "Oh crud, if I don't catch the plates, the old lady's gonna beat the stew out of me," right? And he's panicking, he's running back and forth, he's catching all these plates. That's the image I have for you leaders, and I'm sorry. It's not easy. But welcome to leadership. But the response is not good. This response is not good. So a manager then notices that these workers have effectively started working in the position that maybe they wanted. So they've assumed some responsibilities because of need. And in some cases, it's the responsibilities that maybe they previously or currently desired. And so the leader looks at this and goes, well, if it works out, I'm going to dole out a raise or a promotion. Okay? And this saves the worker a job search, the company a hiring spree, and every one time. Okay? So that's the idea. It's like, you've already started doing this, so let's see what happens. Well, obviously this is to address immediate needs. Emily Rose McCrae, who's quoted in this article, she's on the team of Gartner that did this research. And she says effective quiet hiring depends on framing. If you're asking a bunch of people to make this move, you should be able to articulate what does this mean for them. Ideally, the answer is career advancement. But the rub is that not all the time are managers giving them the pay, the bump in pay, and the bump in title. They're just letting people or asking people to take on more responsibility, but they're not rewarding them for doing a good job taking more responsibility. And so this is creating a lot of tension in the workplace. And it should, because it's bad bossery. It's bad bossery. This is what bosses do. Leaders don't do this. Leaders serve. Leaders love. Leaders communicate that, hey, I see you. I see that you have taken on a bunch of responsibility from Bob when we lost Bob. And you're doing a good job. And we see you. We appreciate you. And we want to show you how we appreciate you. I can't give you this much, but I can give you this. I'd like to give you more responsibility as a result of this. And so we're working out a plan where we could promote you here, and this is where it leads. This is leadership. You communicate to them. You don't just go, hey, man, thanks. Thanks for picking up all of Bob's duties. Hey, you want to go grab a beer? Hey, what if we go to Topgolf on Friday night? It's not what they want. You're not going to Topgolf your way into keeping people around, leaders. Or bad bosses, rather. Leaders understand this. Bosses don't get it. You're not going to have a pizza party or hey, let's all grab lunch and watch the new documentary on Netflix or what. I don't know. I don't know what people are doing. Hey, let's go play pool. Hey, I'm going to get a foosball for the break table, for the break room. Nobody cares. Well, they play it, Ken. Yeah, because they're humans. Well, they go to Topgolf and they seem to have a good time. Yeah, they're humans. But that doesn't speak to their value. You've entertained them. You've not spoken to their value. Because you can take them to Topgolf and have a great time, but they're going to show up the next day feeling as if they're doing more than they were supposed to do. They're trying to do a good job. They're taking on the added responsibility. And they don't have anything to show for it other than hitting some really bad golf shots and drinking too much beer. This is real. And leaders, I appreciate the attempt, but you need to understand there are 3 human needs that we all have that must be met in work. So it is not about just treating your employees with dignity. It is not just about being nice to them and caring. All those things are good. But as a leader, somebody who's really understanding what it takes to pull a team together in tough times, in good times, lead them effectively, serving them effectively, there's 3 human needs. One, they need to see purpose and meaning in their work. That's a narrative thing. That's a results thing. They need to know that they matter. That's coming from you. And then they need to see that the results that they're creating, it ties to their values in a way. They need to be recognized for their unique contribution as number 2. They need to be told publicly and privately, I see what you're doing. You're doing a great job. And here's how you're doing it. And here's how it matters. And the third thing is they need a relationship with their leader. Now, you can develop this at Topgolf. I don't want to completely knock the Topgolf idea, but they need a relationship. They need to feel like you're a coach or a mentor to them. But this idea of, well, they've picked up a bunch of extra duties. I'm just going to placate them. I'm just going to try to soothe them. I'm going to appease them. When they say something, I throw a little something here, but I don't actually value them. And here's what I mean by value. They've got to have those 3 human needs met, but then you must give them a very clear path forward. If you are in leadership at all, you must understand that most employees cannot articulate this, but the data articulates it. They don't want a better job. They want a better life. And to the extent that they feel like the job they have with you, the role they're playing leads to a better life, they're going to stay with you. They're going to be engaged. We got to get this. Stop manipulating. Please stop manipulating. And if you're being manipulated, it's time to start looking and then leaving shortly thereafter.